How's it, football family and soccer brothers and sisters? Welcome to Panenka Pundit, Week 10, Episode 1. And if there's anything that we need to explain to the Premier League to you, this episode will probably explain everything to you. There was a lot of stuff happening. City dropping points, Liverpool dropping points, Man United gaining points again. And in that process, all the Ollie outs, all the Ollie must go. Tottenham's manager, Nuno, gets the sack. As we speak now, rumors are heading towards the Antonio Conte route. They're in the final process. We don't know if that is 100% sure for now, but all we know is that he is rumored to be the next manager today. With that, Louis, I want to go straight over to you and ask you, was Man United that good against Tottenham, or were Tottenham that bad? Can you elaborate a little bit on that game?
Yeah, I think we were miles better than last week against Liverpool. I think the back five worked well for us. I'm not a fan of the back five, and you can see it from all the other teams playing with the two central defenders and the wing backs. That a back five kind of reminds me of the Mourinho era, parking the bus. And I'm not a fan because that means you're playing safe. But whilst playing safe, you're playing with Ronaldo and Cavani. So that's a great call in my mind as well. So yes, it worked well for us. I think with Varane back, already a change in game plan. As I said, the two strikers dominating the game up front. So I don't think we were exceptional. I don't think we're world class. Tottenham missed a couple of amazing opportunities, especially with the offside. Son is still a brilliant player for me, but yes, just to touch on the Nuno comment. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad because I don't think he was that horrible. I think it's kind of a situation of give him time. We know what he did at Wolves, and we know what he can still do. But to lose 5 out of the 10 games for a team like Tottenham, not a great start. So yeah, happy, elated, but kind of still afraid for what might happen coming on Saturday.
Yeah, so with that, you said the 5 at the back and the 3-5-2 system that was pitched when they started the game was very Antonio Conte-like. And now Antonio Conte is rumored to go to Tottenham. So with that, Brandon, I know you're not a Tottenham fan, but I want to ask you your honest opinion. Do you think it's going to be a good call if they get Antonio Conte? Do you think it was too soon for Tottenham to sack Nuno? What is your feelings on this?
Yeah, so I definitely agree that if I were in Conte's shoes right now, I would definitely rather choose United than Spurs. But I think the board of United has made it clear that they're willing to back Ollie at the wheel. So I think it's a great opportunity for Conte to take a Spurs side with a few great individuals, but some terrible results in the past few weeks. Also, I think Nuno, his last season at Wolves also wasn't amazing. So he obviously did an exceptional job there, but I don't know if the rest of the teams maybe figured out his tricks, but like his last few fixtures at Wolves didn't go too well. And obviously, except for the win against City on the opening day, this year things haven't really gone their way. So by all means, if you're a Tottenham fan, you have a lot of reasons to be happy right now.
Yeah, Ron, I don't want to go too deep in this, but I want to comment on that. I want to say what he's saying is exactly that. So just to hold out 1 week with the Tottenham job, Ollie might lose against Atalanta, Ollie might lose against City, and that was the rumors that maybe after the City game, losing 2 games in a row, that's the final out for Ollie. So he can accept the job tonight, and by Sunday, United will need a new manager. And who's left then? The only one left for us that can take on a team like United is Zidane, that have rumored now in the last week, made it clear that he doesn't want to manage United. So who are we getting? That's my question. If Conte goes to Spurs, who are we getting?
Yeah, so I know the obvious rumors, the other reasons or nominations are Zidane, but he doesn't speak English. Is that going to be a problem? He's obviously he's the best candidate to manage someone like Ronaldo, I would believe, who's worked with him before. I think that would be a good thing. But a bigger Achilles heel for Tottenham is going to be the way Conte manages. The way he manages, he brings in a very big staff, a very big crew of his own into the system of Tottenham or into whatever club he goes at. And he also likes to spend. And that's why I think there's going to be a little bit of friction between Tottenham and Antonio Conte. So, and we are still feeling some of the aftermath, if I can put it that way, from when Antonio Conte was at Chelsea. He signed players like Danny Drinkwater for lots of money, who is on a very high wage. I'm not even sure I know where that dude plays now. And Tottenham don't like spending. So the only thing I'm seeing in my mind at this moment is the only way Tottenham can satisfy Conte is if they spend, but then they'd have to sell Harry Kane, get the 150 that they all of a sudden want. But then why would Antonio Conte go to Tottenham if there's no Harry Kane? So it's a very weird thing for me, but let's not get carried away with this. So we do like to warn you, if you are watching this, we are recording it before there's any official statements of Tottenham and Antonio Conte. And hopefully, maybe it'll work out. It'll be a little bit sour from my side, seeing that Mourinho also went to Tottenham from Chelsea, and now it's going to be Conte. So I like to see how that pans out. But a more interesting topic on your two teams at this moment is Manchester United can really upset Manchester City this weekend, because it's been done before. No matter on what low Manchester United have been, and no matter on what high Manchester City have been, there's always been this way where Ole can upset Manchester City. I do not know why. I don't know what is the reasons for that. But if something like that has to happen this weekend, you guys are on level points. Manchester United and Manchester City will be on level points. And West Ham has the potential to beat a Liverpool. I seriously believe they do. And then they go ahead again. And then hopefully Chelsea will win and will be free reign at the top. But what do you think, Louis? Do you think you guys have a chance with how things are going at the moment?
Not with how things are going at the moment. I think with all the hype around Ole out and what's going on in the change room, to beat Guardiola on any day is enough candy for any baby. And at this stage, I feel like we are the little baby against a massive Man City. So go and upset one of the best teams in the world. Why not? Here you have an opportunity to save your coach's job. You have an opportunity to save some of the spots in the team that people are not producing at this stage. So yes, we have an amazing record under Ole against City, and it is a home game. It is that time of the year that you want to become much closer to number one coming Christmas. So yes, I think we have it in us. But I said that against Liverpool as well. I said I think we can beat Liverpool, and they upset me that day. So let's see.
Brandon, your thoughts? How's things looking on Manchester City? Because there is a little grey area or a corridor of uncertainty, if I can call it, at your club at the moment. Your thoughts?
Yeah, so I think this week the results. So we had the 0-0 draw against West Ham midweek, and we fell out of the Carabao Cup. It was the first Carabao Cup match we lost in 5 years.
I know.
Yeah. So that wasn't too great. And then obviously this weekend, I think that it's a clear example again of a City side that has great players, but we're in dire need of a killing striker. So I think the log would have been looking a lot different if we managed to sign Kane in the beginning of the season. And then obviously there are also the worries, because United, especially Ole, has a very good record against City for some reason. But I'm going into the fixture quietly confident, because Man United haven't really done anything to convince me that they are a better team. They're coming off the back of a few very poor results, and they weren't exceptional against Tottenham this weekend. I think they played against the mediocre Tottenham side that weren't playing well. So I'm going in quietly confident, but it could really go either way.
Okay, interesting. So Louis thinks you guys can get the upset. Brandon, you obviously think you guys can also get the upset. So now we're going to try our best to do a combined 11 between Manchester United and Manchester City. If you do not know how this works, we stick to a normal formation of 4-3-3. Louis nominates his players. Brandon nominates his players he wants in the spot. And if they cannot agree on a player, I come in as the referee and I'll make the final call on who should make it or not. Right. So with that being said, let us please start with the goalkeeper. Brandon, I think you want this one.
Yeah, it's got to be Ederson in it. It has to be Ederson. I've always been a huge fan of David De Gea, but especially I think he's under so much pressure with that wonky Man United defense That it sometimes also doesn't make him look very good, and he hasn't been above par for the last few seasons. So you have to back Edison in this combined 11.
Ruan, I'm going to leave this one. I'm going to leave this one up to you. I'm going to start you off with the refereeing decision. I'm a massive Edison fan. Really, I am. And I've said this many times that he's the type of player that can come out and come help the defense play forward, which De Gea doesn't do. But he is having one of his more solid seasons. It's not looking like that on the scoreline. But if you look at what the defense is giving him, then yes, that's why it's 3-0, 2-0, 5-0. So if it wasn't for De Gea, it would have been much bigger scorelines. He's not having a bad season. And I think with Henderson coming back last season, he kind of feels the pressure that Brandon is talking about. So I'm going to leave this one up to you. I think if you want a solid, plain, old age goalkeeper, you're going to go with De Gea. If you want somebody that's playing in a bit more of a forward line, you're going to go with Edison. So I'm going to leave that one up to you, Ron.
This is a very, very tough call, Louis. So I'm going to explain my decision right now. So usually when you come to things like this, you would think to yourself, if you have to play a final now, let's say it's a Champions League final or a FA Cup final, you have one goalkeeper to choose to do this. And let's say you go into extra time and you go to a penalty shootout. I would actually go for Edison. So just because of
the way you were setting it up, I thought you were going to say De Gea.
Yeah, no. So we came down to the same conclusion when we did the Chelsea and Man City conversation, and I said I would choose Mendy, just because I think Edison made the mistake in the not an obvious mistake in the Champions League final, etc. So I am going to have to be a sour referee, and I'm going to go for Brandon's call at this moment. So Edison, he's going to get the call. And with that, we go to right back. I don't think this one is going to be too much of a no-brainer, even though Wan-Bissaka has been good, but he's a good defender. And at the moment, your right back has to do more than that. I think I gave
it's
my
an easy
answer.
one for me.
It's not
as
my
well.
call to make, sorry.
Kyle Walker, can we just agree on Kyle Walker? Is that what we're doing?
Yes, 100%.
Happy to take it.
Okay.
Happy
Kyle
to take
Walker,
it.
Kyle Walker is in at the right. Then we need to think about our two central defenders. Usually one that's good on the ball and a good physical leader. Okay, you guys can go.
I'll pitch two, and then Brandon can comment on that. For me, I think Diaz is one of the best in the world. I know there's a lot of talk about Big Verge, but Diaz is just amazing in what he's doing. So I will go with Ruben Diaz and Rafael Varane. I think that will be my centre back combination. John Stones is a brilliant player, but he's had too many downs and a lot of ups as well. But he's having a good season. He's had a good stint in the last couple of months. But I just think with the history around Varane and what he did on the weekend as well, I'll go with Varane and Diaz.
Okay, I actually agree with that. And that was my exact thinking. Brandon, what do you think?
Yeah, I think I also agree. Obviously, Ruben Diaz is a machine at the back for us. He's also been given a bit more of a captain role this season, a bit more of one of the senior players, and it's only his second season. So he's doing exceptionally well. And then on the other side, like Stones and Emerick Laporte have been rotating a lot more this season than I would have expected it, because last season Stones was also one of the first names on the team list. But I think Varane's reputation speaks for himself. I mean, he's
proven
won 4 Champions Leagues. So definitely he's also one of the best to ever do it. So I think he should also make the team.
All right, so there are our two central defenders. We have Ruben Diaz and we have Rafael Varane right there. And now the left back. The left back, I think, is going to be the most difficult out of all of them to choose, because Luke Shaw has been really great the last 2 seasons. Maybe not the last few weeks, but also Cancelo has been amazing for Manchester United. Not Manchester United, Manchester City. So you guys are going to have to try and fight this one out.
Again, massive fan of Cancelo. I think Luke Shaw's defending has let him down a bit in the last couple of weeks. But yes, he's such an amazing forward-playing left back. The chances that he creates, and he's the kind of player that when we are 1-0 down and there's 10 minutes left, he can give the perfect pass to any forward that's waiting in the box. So yeah, I think I know what Brandon's going to say, but I'll let him speak and then you can decide, Ruan. But yeah, I just think in terms of fighting for my team and fighting for the position, I'll have Luke Shaw in any team on any day.
Okay, cool. Brandon?
Yeah, so I also agree. This is most probably the most difficult one to pick, because if you go back to the Euros, Luke Shaw was an exceptional player, and he really was one of the reasons why England made it to the final. His goal contributions, his defending was solid. But so far in the Premier League, I don't think he's really been that outstanding this season. If I can use like Fantasy Premier League as an example, I was one of the first guys to put in Shaw into my team, and he's blanked consistently. So you blank if you concede goals, if you don't really have any contributions, if you don't play the full 90. He's also gotten, I think, 2 or 3 yellow cards unnecessarily this season. So I had to take him out of my team, and I wasn't too happy about it. Where Cancelo, he's been exceptional, especially in the last few weeks. He has 2 assists in our last 5 games, I think, and his defending has also been rock solid. So if we go on current form, then it has to be Cancelo. But that's just my opinion as a City player or supporter.
Yeah. Okay, so I think that's where I'm going to have to referee this one out. Based on current form, you do have a valid point, Brandon. But I see more evidence from Luke Shaw so far. Not that there's no evidence from Cancelo at all. He has been fantastic. But I think you can't necessarily blame Luke Shaw for a whole backline that's failed. Obviously, he is part of that backline. And if you would want to win a game or have a final, I would pick Luke Shaw because what he did in the final for England, I know he didn't do it for Manchester United, but that's what he would do. So that is unfortunately my pick. Sorry about that, Brandon. Louis, you're going to get your wish. Luke Shaw is our left back or left wing back. However we call it these days, he's going to be in there. And now things are also going to get even more spicy with the midfield. The midfield is going to be very tough. I think the first thing we should do is sort out who's going to be the defensive midfielder. If we can sort that out, then I think the other options would be quite easy.
So our pick should always be Paul Pogba, but he's not playing in that position under Ole. Right. So he's playing in a more forward role where our defensive options at this stage is either McTominay, Fred, or Matic that's been rotating for a while now. And yeah, I don't know if I want to choose one of those 3. So I think let Brandon go, and then I'll see if I can comment on that. And by the way, Pogba is still out with a red card, so he's unable to play, which also changes the whole dynamic. So I think Brandon, take it away, and let's see where we end up.
So obviously the clear option is going to be Rodri, who's been also solid this season. He's still young, so he does have a few defensive missteps, but obviously we have that defensive wall that covers very well for him. And I think City are very blessed in that we have a guy like Rodri that can move the ball forward quickly. And if he does make a mistake, it won't cost us too dearly. And yeah, I think United's biggest concern this season has been that they don't have the standout defensive midfielder. If they knew they had that extra line of defense where the rest of the midfield can push forward, it would have made a huge difference for them. But Rodri is definitely the only possible pick, because Fred has been shocking this season. I don't really comment on McTominay. I don't know if he's good or not. I don't watch enough United games for that. But Rodri is always solid, so I think he's a great pick.
I'll take that one, Brandon. I'll say yes. I'm happy with Rodri. I think McTominay is growing a lot in the position. I think he will become an excellent central defender, central CDM. What do you call it? Central defensive midfielder in the next couple of years, but not at this stage, not world class yet. So I'm happy to take Rodri. I'm going to make it easy for Brandon. As long as I have Bruno Fernandes in the midfield, he can choose the other 2. So we already have Rodri in there. So as long as Bruno is there, then you can take the other one, because you have a couple left that you would have wanted in midfield, and you only have one position left. So let's see where this goes.
So Louis, if you said that we stick to Rodri, I think the rest of the midfield is pretty obvious. It's going to be Bruno Fernandes and it's going to be Kevin De Bruyne. That has to be
Ruan,
one of this.
Ruan, I think the most difficult pick to make in the midfield obviously Bruno Fernandes picks himself, and Rodri has to be there. I think the most difficult pick would actually be picking between Silva, who's been freaking amazing this season, and De Bruyne, who's obviously one of the best players in the world, but who also the last few weeks he hasn't been, his old self. So if we go on current form, I would actually rather have Silva in my team. Sure. But if we go on reputation, then it's De Bruyne's the option. So rather you two should maybe pick the better City midfielder that you would like in your team.
Louis, it's in your hands.
I just want to read out the midfielders in the squad: Gundogan, Grealish, Rodri, De Bruyne, Silva, Foden. Those are just insane names for a midfield, which we do not have on our side. Mata, Lingard, Fred, Matic, Van der Beek, McTominay. It's just insane, and that's why I said I want to give it to Brandon. So, Brandon, I think I have to agree with Ruan. Based on current form, yes, maybe, but it feels like what I did against the Liverpool game where I left out Ronaldo, that you do not leave out De Bruyne out of a City squad. And out of a combined 11, I want to agree with Ruan and say, I'm going to take De Bruyne on this one.
All right, cool. Solid midfield. All right. We have Rodri that's chosen by Brandon. And thanks to Louis' kindness, giving that to him. And then we have Bruno Fernandes and we have Kevin De Bruyne. That as a creative and attacking duo as 8/10 is amazing. Now we go to the front three. So let's just quickly all agree that in the middle, in the front is going to be Cristiano Ronaldo. Please just say yes.
Yes.
No, I agree.
Okay, so I think I got some slack. Well, we got some slack on the previous episode with Liverpool. How on earth he's not there, but now he is there. Now,
and we were correct. He didn't produce, so we weren't too wrong about it.
We weren't wrong. But just as the show started, Brandon mentioned that City still need that number 9. And let's act like this is the number 9 that they need, and it is the one and only Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, Louis, you mentioned the massive midfield of Manchester City. So those midfielders are also attackers. We mentioned the likes of Phil Foden, of Jack Grealish. Now we have to make space for those guys. Also, you guys have Jadon Sancho. I know he's not in very good form at the moment. You have Mason Greenwood, who's in amazing form. Marcus Rashford is back also. Cavani scored this weekend. How are we going to choose these two attackers?
So I'm going to pitch mine again. I would say Cristiano Ronaldo definitely in the middle. I'm always a Sterling fan. I think what he's done in a couple of what he's done in the last couple of seasons. I can't speak. I feel the same as Brandon. I don't watch too much City football. Grealish just for me is kind of that just behind the two front strikers role, and I don't think that's a setup that we are going for. We are going for the left wing, right wing striker. So based on that formation, I would rather go for a Sterling. That's what I would do from a City point of view, and from a United point of view, you might not believe me, but I'm going to go for a Rashford pick because Rashi has come back after an operation and he's killing it. So the type of football that he's played, not against Liverpool, but he's scored 3 goals from 3 games, basically. He just turned 24 yesterday, and he's just turned 24. And what has he achieved? How many goals, how many games, etc. So I just think on the day, he's just a kid that you can pull up and say, yes. Listen, we had a long discussion about Greenwood. I do not think he's on Rashford's level yet. So, I think my front three will be Sterling, Ronaldo, Rashford.
All right, Brandon, fight him. Let's go.
So it's been a very weird way that City have lined up like our attacking options this season. In the beginning of the season, I thought obviously Gabriel Jesus would be the striker, and then we would have Sterling and Mahrez or Grealish on the wings. And the way we've played this season is Phil Foden has been our false 9. He's actually been doing pretty well. We've tried a few guys. Sterling had a game there. De Bruyne actually had a game there. But predominantly our wings for the season have been Grealish and Mahrez. I know Grealish has come under a lot of fire the last few games, which is basically just people questioning the 100 million price tag. He's
That's
been
always gonna be
solid.
there,
He hasn't been exceptional. I think Mahrez has done very well this season. The biggest issue at the moment is Sterling isn't starting for us. I don't know if there's friction between him and Pep, but yeah, it's been a long time since he's actually started. It looks like he's going to leave us either in January or definitely somewhere in next season, because of his form the last few games for City. So if you go on the attacking options for City, I would like to pick Foden as one of our wings, even though he does play as our false nine. And then, yeah, you can make an argument for guys like Mahrez and Grealish, but I also agree with Louis. Me personally, I would go for Greenwood. Yes, he's just been excellent, but also Rashford, and he's such a likable guy. Like nobody can tell you that they don't like Marcus Rashford. So I'll also go for Rashford because of his likability, and then I'll
take Foden. I'll take Foden.
I'll also take Foden. Fancy like full Foden. So there we have it. Our front three is going to be Cristiano Ronaldo. In the middle, on the left, we will have Phil Foden. And on the right, we'll have Marcus Rashford. And that is a super, super solid team. I think that's a very good team. This does not get easier every time we do this because players get into shape, players get injured, underdogs come up, people perform. So yeah, I think that's a good time. Not a good time. I think that's a good team. If you guys agree, if you like it, please comment down below. Give your opinion on that. And also with that, quickly give us your predictions for this weekend. Louis, what's it going to be?
It's difficult. Well, I have to support my own team. We didn't slip a goal against Tottenham. We should have. So I'm going to make it 2-1 United. City scoring first. United coming back. Ronaldo in the 87th minute. 2-1.
All right, Brandon?
It's easy. It's going to be 2-0 City. I don't think United... I don't think their defense will be able to handle our attackers. I think I'm quietly confident that it's going to be a 2-0 victory for the citizens.
All right, so that's the call from my side, just because what Man United has done and have done before to Manchester City, I'm actually going to go with a draw. If they keep the 5 at the back, they might be able to contain it. So we have also seen both teams struggle against the low blocking teams. That's Man United and City, and I do think United might go that route just to be safe, just to maybe try and see if they can ease a little bit of pressure out of Oli. So I'm going to go for a 1-1. Then quickly, interesting also, I know both of you want Liverpool to lose, but if West Ham win, I think they go past Liverpool if I have it correct, or they go draw with them. So what do you want to happen? What do you guys want to happen with the West Ham and Liverpool game?
West Ham win solidly on the. I don't think West Ham will keep it up for the whole season. So any points lost for the traditional Big Six, let's leave out Tottenham out of the Big Six, but is good for United, especially how far behind we are. We're 8 points behind Chelsea. So let's take a win, and hopefully Liverpool loses.
All right, Brandon, what do you think is going to be the score?
I really hope West Ham do us a huge favour. I agree with Louis. I don't think they'll be able to keep it up for the whole season, especially with the European fixtures coming up. So I hope West Ham beat Liverpool, but Liverpool are good. I think they're going to beat West Ham 2-1.
I'm going to go 1-1 draw there also. 1-1 draw for Man City and Manchester United, and a 1-1 draw for West Ham and for Liverpool. With that, thank you guys for tuning in. Louis, Brandon, thank you guys for sharing your 2 cents, your opinions, and helping with the combined 11 on the show. Enjoy the rest of the week, guys. Enjoy the football for the week and for the weekend. Until later, always remember to chip the keeper.